Here we are for the second time and the finals. And I'm going first. Another good hand. I'll keep it. We keep getting these 2 mana hands and hoping that we get the land. And they've always gotten them, so we've been running on the good side of luck tonight. Hopefully we can hit it again. I just need to hit 1 land though, and we're probably fine. I mean, it'll get us the Ghoul, Choking Restraints, and Ironclad Slayer. That seems like more than enough to play at the start of the game. Especially if we can get like a swamp so we can play this Distended Mindbender sometime fairly soon. And we can get it down for 4 off of an Ironclad Slayer. That's pretty sick. Also for 4 off of Geistfield Scarecrow, which is kind of weird. Alright. Alright, our opponent decided to keep, and sure, that seems fine. Just lead into that Wailing Ghoul. We don't have any double black or double white cards, really, so it doesn't really matter what we play first. And hopefully we don't hit 2 lands here. Did hit a land. Campaign of Vengeance is unfortunate, but not a big deal. Well, if we weren't going to hit a land, Cryptbreaker is a good card for us to hit. Attack for 1, play Cryptbreaker. Next turn, if we draw a land, I'm not sure what I do. Discard Mindbender? Could discard Restraints and try and buy it back with Slayer. That's kind of nice. 2 mana. Unsubstantiate our Cryptbreaker. Okay. Huh. And that does work. I guess they don't have anything, so that kind of makes sense. Sure, just trying to draw a card to deal with it. Both stuck on 2 lands, which is a little awkward. Turn 4, both of us with 2 lands. Awesome. Alright, I guess that we're just discarding. So I'll attack. I'm pretty sure... I don't know what to get rid of. I think that it might just be Geistfield Scarecrow. Distended Mindbender is so powerful, and our opponent's also stuck on having no lands here, so there's a good chance that we can get some good cards out of them. I think that it makes sense to keep the Mindbender. Haunter hits us, and what do they have now? Because they're going to have something. They drew their second color and another land, like... That's gotta break the stalemate. I can't imagine they kept a hand that can't play anything once they drew their planes. They have, like, Convolute? That'd be interesting. Well, I'll get rid of the Geistfield. We have 4 card types, too. The question is, do I want to attack or do I just want to draw cards? Probably just want to draw cards. Hopefully get another land here. There we go. Finally good news. Dauntless Cathar or Dawngryff? Let's go Cathar. If it gets countered, it's not as big of a deal. We get to rebuy it out of the graveyard. It's Spell Queller. Ah. Alright. Well, we can Choking Restraints that down later. Taking 4 damage here, going to 13. We've got to pay a little bit of attention to that. Restraining the Spell Queller is not the worst, because later on, if we get enough land, then we can exile it. Although, it's when it leaves play, right? It's not when it dies. Yeah, so when it leaves the battlefield. Alright, that makes sense. We could just do that. Although, now I think we need to get rid of this Tattered Haunter, because that's too much of a problem. Just Choking Restraints that. I could race back with 4 damage. Or I could just draw. It's a tough choice. I feel like we might just attack here. We gotta put some pressure back on our opponent. We're losing this race pretty handily currently. Essence Flux. Alright. Ugh. That's annoying. I do get Slayer to buy it back, which is a thing. But, I mean, now I'm taking 5 in the air again. It's not great. I could actually just go Dawngryph, Devilthorn if we draw land. That's probably the best thing to do, because Dawngryph can block the 3-2. Devilthorn puts more pressure on the ground. Opponent's still pretty mana screwed. If we do that, it does mean, and like they don't have another removal spell, we're in pretty good shape. I need time to be able to get this Restraints back and play it with the Slayer. That's all I'm thinking of. Alright, I'm going to play the Dawngryph. We'll attack here and see what happens. Still nothing from the opponent. And hopefully this Dawngryph is good enough. If there's like another Spell Queller or a Convolute or something, we could be in real trouble. I don't know how we win, actually, at that point. I don't think there is a way to win. I'm not sure that we'd have a card in our deck that would save us. So, hopefully they don't have anything here. Okay. Another removal spell, obviously also a problem. But there's nothing we can do about any of these things. We just have to play to what we have. Opponent's deck is good. Bunch of flyers. This is a weird game, though. We both got really awkward draws, to say the least. I don't know. They're spending so much time thinking. It's really scaring me. It's like, what do they have? Attack with just Spell Queller. Alright. That I'm a lot happier with. I can take 2. I still want Tattered Haunter getting in. Desperate Sentry. That's also fun. So now I get the land. I can Crow Devilthorn. Attack with the zombie. Could also Distended Mindbender. Sacrifice the Wailing Ghoul to do it. That doesn't seem like the worst. If I get in with the 2-2, they block with Desperate Sentry, they get a 3-2 back. But then I can rip apart whatever plan they have. That doesn't seem like a terrible idea. And they can't be too aggressive with Spell Queller. Because I can kill them on the backswing pretty easily with the Mindbender. Glad they have they put the Choking Restraints in our graveyard, because if we draw one more land, we've got Slayer into the Restraints, which is really nice. Yeah. As expected. And let's Mindbender. Hopefully we don't see anything too... well, we don't see multiple copies of Insane Things. We'll put it that way. Exile target creature at the beginning of the next combat, so I don't think I care about that. Next end step, return it to its control, +1/+1. It's nothing right now. I guess it saves them an attack, or they can kill our zombie with it. Grizzled Angler is kind of more of a problem. And then the other one is Abyssinian Missionaries or Vexing Scuttler. Vexing, they can rebuy Unsubstantiate or Essence Flux. They need to have 4 mana and sacrifice Spell Queller. That's no good for them. I mean, sacrificing Spell Queller is super dicey on their part. So I think that I take the Missionaries. I guess Missionaries doesn't do anything either, though. So what do I want to take? Angler and Scuttler? I guess. Alright. Get rid of both of those. And now we can start discarding lands to Crypt Breaker, or fairly soon. I mean, we probably still want one more because of the Choking Restraints Ironclad Slayer. But we're at that point where we can start churning out a lot of zombies. I'm an idiot. I actually left myself dead on board. They could have long-roaded home our Dawngriff, couldn't they? Yep. Strength of Arms. Oh, well, that was a good draw. Nothing I can do about that. I actually should have taken the Long Road home, though. Now that I think about it. Long Road home returns at an end of turn, doesn't it? I just assumed that it came back in immediately, and that's just not the way the card works. I was actually just leaving myself dead. I needed to get rid of Long Road home. But, I mean, they top-decked out of it anyways, even if we had gotten rid of the right card. Sick. This is a close game. Really weird game. Really weird game. I think that I like where our deck is at. Just need to have a little bit of a better play on my part, because I should have taken that Long Road home. And probably just a better draw. That was very weird. Alright, we'll go. It's also nice to know that they have Spell Queller now. No need to walk into that again. Ooh, this hand is good. So we'll lead off with the Dawngriff. Compulsion's a little awkward as a 2-drop, obviously. Not going to be able to play it on 2. We'd like to have something to curve out into. But not going to happen here, I guess. Not a huge deal. It's a good thing that we're not totally weak to flyers here, though. We've got a decent deck against them. Things like Sanctifier of Souls is pretty great. And I'm probably playing Outrider before the Sanctifier. We'll see what our opponent does, though. If they don't pass, I might just... Yeah. Alright, I think that we just play the Accomplice. Can I even attack with Dawngriff? I don't think I can. I could play Outrider and have them go for the Spell Queller. If they do, the next turn I can Accomplice and Compulsion. That's not that bad. Maybe I'm okay with that. Alright, they did have Spell Queller. That's fine, though. I mean, we're planning on them having it. Not super excited about it, but that's fine. They should be attacking with the Spell Queller. I should be able to get the value out of it. Take 4 here. But then we can stabilize pretty well. So let's go Compulsion. Immediately get it back. Cast it. Oof. Well, I mean, at least we're not drawing those cards, because that would have been awkward. Most of those are not what I want. Play the Ghoul Callers and smash. So that worked out just fine for us. Down a little bit of life, but we've got a good stable board position. And Sanctifier of Souls is pretty good. We can make some trades and then get a bunch of value out of it later. Wailing Ghoul is not bad to have with it on top of that. Should be able to hit a little bit of value off of it. Lunarch Mantle. Okay. They can sacrifice something to give it flying. Alright. Sacrifice the Desperate Sentry. I was going to say, otherwise I'm probably willing to trade Courageous Outrider for it. This is very aggressive. Boon of Emrakul. That seems pretty good. Let's attack with the team, and then I'll boon down the Steadfast Cathar. Play the Wailing Ghoul. See if our opponent's willing to trade anything. I don't think that they will be. I'm okay with that, though. Even if they hit us back for 3 again next turn down to 7, like, I don't know that they can have that much more to go ahead with here. Hopefully this isn't an unsubstantiate. They're pausing. It might be. If it is, that's a problem. It's a pretty big tempo gain. I guess I play Wailing Ghoul and I probably just chump block the Horror. I can play the Boon of Emrakul again next turn. Yeah, definitely unsubstantiate. Long Road Home. Alright. Well, that's not that big of a deal. Alright. Wow, we hit Distended Mindbender and Newscraft Mob. That's really bad for us. Those are two of our better cards. Okay. Just attack back for 6. Yep. I'm going to just chump block here. Opponent has 2 cards in hand. I have 1 card. It's going to be a close game. Alright. If that's just Desperate Sentry, I'm pretty okay with that. I think we get in with the Outrider and Dawngryph. I guess... Outrider can block the Steadfast Cathar. Maybe I'd go just Dawngryph. Might not be a bad idea. And then I'll play Sanctifier of Souls. Alright. Sanctifier down. And pass the turn. Don't see a reason to play the land yet, actually. The thing is that we need 6 mana to use this twice, which we have if we play the land next turn. And if we get another land, we have 7, so it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't give us anything extra by having 7. So it's fine to I think to wait just a little bit. It's nice to have them worry about what we could have in our hand for the 7th card, or for 1 mana with white. Like, we might have like a Strength of Arms or something. They have to play around that a little bit. They're 1 away from having Deliriums, so that's kind of a problem with Desperate Sentry. We can always trade Ghoul-Caller's Accomplice for it, but... And swinging in with 3 creatures here that can actually get through most of our team is a bit of an issue. Opponent just swings everything. Alright. I'm thinking that this is Strength of Arms, but I'll lose the Sanctifier and just save ourselves some life. I think that it's worthwhile. Wait, nothing? That is interesting. Really, that was the play. Okay. I'm not sure what's happening here. Stormrider Spirit, maybe? Let's attack with both of these. Maybe leave the Dawngryph back because of Stormrider. 5 mana for Stormrider. What would happen if I attack with everything? They block Dawngryph. Take a bit. I played 2 1/1 spirits. I'm still not dead even if I attack with Dawngryph. Yeah, alright. They have to have 2 cards to actually play around that. Yeah, they have to have some really good cards to get through Sanctifier, making 2 tokens here. Okay. Really not sure what's happening here. Use this again. Exile the Newscraft. Why not? Doesn't really matter what we exile, except I don't 100% want to exile the Ghoul-Caller's Accomplice. No blocks and they die. Okay. Show me some lands. I mean, sure. They had 1 more land than me. I mean, that's not that big of a deal. I don't know. Alright. Well, that game ended up pretty perfectly. This is a tight match. It's really good. I think we just leave things the same still. I don't have a lot more flyers or anything to put in is the problem. And it does seem like they have some good flyers. So that's really kind of the issue there. I guess Board Malevolence could be good. They do have the Tattered Haunter that I can get rid of. They're trying to make a lot of, like, really aggressive little attacks. They also have Steadfast Cathar. You can take out Certain Death and put in Borrowed Malevolence. Their deck seems to be fairly fast, so going a little quicker on our end isn't bad. That makes a lot of sense to switch that out. Alright, I'm good with this. And, no swamps, but I think we keep it anyways. I mean, I have Cathar, Purge, and Outrider. I don't think that's a hand that you throw back, especially when you can play all of them. Another black card's not what I want to see, but hopefully we'll make it work. Another Plains. Again, not what I want to see. At least we're only just taking 1 damage here. And it doesn't look like they have Spell Queller for once. Because they probably would leave it up. Alright, just play the Dauntless. I'm definitely willing to trade it for Grizzled Angler. Make them a 2/2, but that's fine. They'll get some counters on Unruly Mob. There's really not a lot that I can do about that. I can Purge it or Boon of Emrakul it away later. Yeah, just Snap Block. This card gets way too scary later. Strength of Arms? Alright. That's another one of those things where there's not a lot that I'm going to be able to do about that. Strength of Arms is probably just going to get me at one point. Play the Sanctifier. I can remove Dauntless afterwards. I think I just Outrider. Outrider makes more sense here. No swamps. Alright, I'm glad that I did that. Hit that and play Choking Restraints, Malevolence, and Plains. Sure. Hopefully now we draw some swamps, because this is going to get real dicey if we don't. Putting 4 cards on the bottom that we know aren't swamps is really good for us, though. If we get 1 land, I can play like Slayer, Purge, and use the Dauntless. So that's kind of nice. Vexing Scuttler, get back Strength of Arms. Alright. This is going very well for our opponent. This game is going bottoms up pretty quick. They can attack in. We can't really block because they have the Strength of Arms. Yeah, it's just all bad. Really sick draws from our opponent, and not so hot right now. We drew hot earlier. I'm not drawing so hot right now. I think I just take it. Blocking just doesn't make any sense. Still no land. That's really bad news. Alright, we're going to have to block. Throw out a couple of blockers here. Probably put Sanctifier on Unruly and like Courageous on something else, like Grizzled Angler or the Eldrazi Horror. Yep. Getting absolutely pummeled by not having black mana. There's nothing I can do about it, though. We're just stuck where we are. Take 6, go to 9. They kill our Sanctifier. Yeah. I was willing to sacrifice the Sanctifier at this point. I kind of just have to. Courageous Outrider can at least keep blocking afterwards. Ugh. Not good. So I can use Dauntless, and then I can Purge the Vexing Scuttler, so I guess that's a thing. I'll have to sacrifice a land, but that's fine. I just need a swamp. I don't really need lands. I need swamps specifically. We're on a fairly stable board if our opponent doesn't have anything good in hand. If they have an equipment for Abyssinian Missionaries, then I think we just straight lose. Like, I don't know that there's any way that we can win at that point. But can't really attack in on the ground too well here unless they're willing to just throw away creatures. I guess they could attack Grizzled Angler and Abyssinian Missionaries and hope that the mob is good enough. Wow, this is really bad. So we have 21 cards, because there's 4 on the bottom that we know of, and 9 of them are swamps. So, I mean, hopefully we can draw one soon. I really wish I didn't have to throw this Ironclad Slayer out there without playing the Boon of Emrakul first. Oh god, they have Spell Queller. I guess that's not the worst, because honestly, if they have Spell Queller... Oh, they don't quell it. Because how good would that be in a lot of ways? We'd actually, if we drew a swamp, we could boon the Spell Queller and then just like immediately rebuy Ironclad Slayer. That's kind of sick. put them into 2 piles. Okay. So I can give them Haunter and what do I want to do here? So give them Haunter and True Faith Sensor. They'll probably take that. That's not great. I give Rattle Chains and a land. I might take these. That's still not good. I don't want to give them True Faith Sensor is the big thing. I guess I could give them both of the flyers, but I don't really want to do that either. This is the best Fortune's Favor I've ever seen, actually. Which isn't saying a lot for Fortune's Favor. This isn't that insane, but Fortune's Favor has generally been a lot better for me than my opponent. This one is pretty bad for me. I'm going to guess they're just going to take these. That was a really good hit. If this was a land, that wouldn't be that bad. It'd be pretty easy. Okay. I just can't let them have True Faith Sensor, though. It's just way too bad for me. At least they only have 1 island, so they can't play the Rattle Chains and the Tattered Haunter right away. Gives us a little bit of breathing room. I need that swamp pretty desperately. I don't know what we're going to do, honestly. Even if I draw it now, I think that we're in enough of a bind that this might not work out anyways. Okay. We drew the swamp. They're going to play Rattle Chains and Tattered Haunter. I can Scavengers, get nothing back. That's no good. Boon of Emrakul, the Unruly Mob. Attack with the Slayer. Just to trade it. Well, I definitely want to kill Unruly Mob. Because if it becomes 4, that's a real problem. This might be a Spell Queller. It is a Spell Queller. Fuck. Okay. I thought they had it, but I mean, I also kind of have to walk into it eventually. I can play Crow next turn and then try and double block Spell Queller. This is not good. They must have another Eldrazi in their deck besides the Vexing Scuttler, because they're actually using the Grizzled Angler. It's just too little too late. I really needed them to use Spell Queller on the Ironclad Slayer. That's what we needed. Surprised they didn't Rattle Chains. We know that they have it. Tattered Haunter. I guess they're just like holding it up for whatever removal we have. Oof, that is not good. Let's take Crow. We do get to double block for Spell Queller, so that's not going to do anything. Newscraft Mob just doesn't want to get played by us. Although, to be fair, double black right now is not happening, so I guess it's not the worst. Keep the land in hand. Is there any reason why I want to play it? Not really. I'd rather discard it to Crypt Breaker at some point. So we'll just wait. It's not good though. Still gonna play Rattle Chains. Nope. Still just content to not beat us down with it. Really want to protect their Spell Quellers / Tattered Haunter here. Attacking the Spell Queller. I have to double block. There's no way that I can get away from this. Yeah, they probably have something, but it's just way too juicy of a prize. And we're at a point where, like, there's not a lot that we can do. Yeah. I can't just sit here and let them deal 2 damage to us in the air over and over and over and over anyways. We're still just dead on board, like, in a turn or 2 because of that. So it really doesn't matter. I can go Midnight Scavengers to rebuy Crow. Play the Crypt Breaker. I guess. It's not great, but it is something. Alright. Opponent's deck is good. They've got a lot of tricks. If I can get another spirit, that'd be great. I don't know that I have any way to do it, though. Sanctifier is already dead. We lost the Dragoon. This is a problem. Those flyers are going to beat us down. Are they finally going to play Rattle Chains here? They should. They should have played it a while back. Activate that again. And Rattle Chains finally? I think if I were them, I'd have ended this game a million turns ago by just playing the Rattle Chains. It was pretty, I don't know, I guess that it, like, there's certainly an advantage to holding on to it and being able to gain hexproof on something. They don't want me to be able to play the Boon of Emrakul off the Spell Queller, but, I mean, the game looks like it would have been over a long time ago, and I think that's even from the opponent's perspective, not knowing what we have in hand. Like, it seems like you just have to go for it at some point. Can't expect us to have everything. Alright, well, looks like that will be the game. But we're going to go out getting maximum value. Mill ourselves 4 cards, and there we go. Our opponent doesn't kill us, we kill us. That ended up pretty well, though. I mean, we had 2 finals in a row. Had some rough draws at the end there, but we drew really, really hot in between, so making it to the finals was pretty good. Just some, you know, like, bit of mana trouble right at the end caused us a bit of grief. Not much that we could do about it. I had to walk into some of the tricks our opponent had. I mean, I could have waited and not double blocked there against Spell Queller, but if I'm doing that, I don't think that there's any real good way that we can get out of it at that point. The double block was pretty obvious they had a trick. What am I going to do about it, though? Like, we know that they have Rattle Chains in their hand. We know that they have tricks in their hand. I have no way to play around it later. I have almost no other flyers in my entire deck. Like, there's not going to be a better time for me to block. They're just going to get more ways to do it, and eventually they're just going to overwhelm me with flyers anyways, so I might as well take the chance and hope they made a mistake. This is kind of my reasoning on that one. But yeah, like I kind of had to play into Spell Queller because I know they have Rattle Chains, I know they have Tatter Haunter. Like, there's just not a lot there that I can really do. Like, I end up in a lot of positions where I'm walking into tricks that I know that they have, like, willingly walking into them, but I don't have a choice. I just have to hope that they eventually run out of tricks because I was on so much pressure that I didn't have a better line of play. Not being able to have the black mana and actually, like, play 2 things in a turn, like bait out a Spell Queller or something, that was really the issue. But in any case, it was a lot of fun. We did really well across those 2 drafts. It worked really nicely. And I will be back with more Full Force next week. If you haven't seen it already, I put up my Grand Prix Louisville findings. We did a full rundown and put that up on Newmont Gaming. So if you guys want to check that out, you can check it out here. And of course, you can always watch me on Twitch with Ilyon TV, or follow me on Twitter at IlyonMTG. I'll be doing a little bit of a switch up with Kaladesh again for how we do Full Force episodes, just like the way that I review the set and start it out. I have some cool ideas, though. I've been slowly fine-tuning the way that we do this. I like this iteration a little bit more than the last iteration, and I think I finally have exactly what I want. So stay tuned in the next couple weeks, and we'll start doing the start of Kaladesh, and we'll have some fun with that. I'll also do a Legacy Cube in between, so we'll get some good Full Force episodes. But I'll see you guys later. Have a good one. And see where we go from here. Last time we opened Arlen Cord and Jason, one of ours. I was going to say, wouldn't it be great if we could open one of those 2 again? But hey, there we go. Perfect. We did it. We did it, Reddit. We landed the Arlen Cord immediately. Holy crap. As I was saying it, it immediately lands in my lap. I will take it. We'll find some way to splash it. The card's strong. I mean, it's not the best Planeswalker in existence. Far from it. But it is still a Planeswalker, and those are at a premium, so we will take it. Oh, wow. What a great called shot.